4. People's Revolt. The first resistance to the British was offered by the Pulithevar. Since then, there had been rebellions by Palekarar such as the Veerapandi Kattapomman, Oomathurai, Maruthi brothers, and Dhiran Chinnamalai. Origin of Palayam. The Vijayanagar rulers appointed Nayaks in their provinces. The Nayak of Madurai in turn appointed Palekarar. Vishwanatha became the Nayak of Madurai in 1529. With the consultation of his minister Ariyanatha Mudaliyar, Vishwanatha instituted Palekara system in 1529. The whole country was divided into 72 palayams and each one was put under a Palekarar. Palekarar was the holder of a territory of Arya Palayam. Early revolts of South India. Revolt of the Palekarars. During the 17th and 18th century, the Palekarars played a vital role in the politics of Tamil Nadu. The early struggle between the Palekarars and the East India Company had a strong political dimension. By the Carnatic Treaty of 1792 consolidated the English power over the Palekarars. In 1759, Nerkattum Seval was attacked by the forces of Nawab of Arcot under the leadership of Yusuf Khan. Pulithevar was defeated at Andanallur and the Nawab's forces captured Nerkattum Seval in 1761. Pulithevar, who lived in exile, recaptured Nerkattum Seval in 1764. Later, he was defeated by Captain Campbell in 1767. Pulithevar escaped and died in exile without fulfilling his purpose, although his courageous trail of a structure for independence in the history of South India. Veerapandi Kattapomman. The ancestors of Kattapomman belonged to Andhra. They migrated to Tamil country during the 11th century. He later became a polyglot during the rule of Nayaks. He was succeeded by his son Veerapandi Kattapomman. His wife was Jakamal and his brothers are Oomadurai and Sevataya, Nawab of Arod. After the decline of the Vijayanagar Empire, the Mughals established their supremacy in the south. The Nawabs acted as their representatives in Karnataka. Panjalamkurchi Palayam was attacked as an ally to the Nawab of Arcot, hence it paid tribute to the Nawabs. But in 1792, the political condition had completely changed. Based on the Carnatic Treaty of 1792, the company gained the right to collect taxes from the Panjalamkurchi. Kattapomman met Jackson. In 1798, Colin Jackson, the collector of Ramanathapuram, wrote letters to Kattapomman asking him to pay the tribute of arrears. Colin Jackson got angry and decided to send an expedition to punish Kattapomman. In 1790, Kattapomman and his minister Siva Subramaniam met the collector at Ramanathapuram. Upon a verification of accounts, Colin Jackson was convinced that Kattapomman had cleared most of the arrears, leaving only 1080 pagodas as balance. During this interview, Kattapomman and his minister Siva Subramanian had to stand before the arrogant collector for 3 hours. The collector insulted them and tried to arrest Kattapomman and his minister. Kattapomman tried to escape with his minister. Oomathurai suddenly entered the fort with his men and helped the escape of Kattapomman, but unfortunately Siva Subramanian was taken as prisoner. Edward Clive and Kattapomman. After his return to Panjalamkurchi, Kattapomman wrote a letter to the Madras Council narrating the behavior of the collector Colin Jackson. Edward Clive, the governor of Madras Council, ordered Kattapomman to surrender. The Madras Council directed Kattapomman to appear before a committee. Meanwhile, Edward Clive dismissed the collector of his misbehavior and released Siva Subramania. Kattapomman appeared before the committee and found Kattapomman was not guilty. S.R. Lushington was appointed collector in the place of Colin Jackson, who was eventually dismissed from service. The Confederacy of Palekaras. During the time, Maruthu Pandian of Sivaganga formed the South Indian Confederacy of rebels against the British along with the neighboring Palekaras. This confederacy declared a proclamation which came to be known as Tiruchirappalli Proclamation. Kattapomman was interested in this confederacy. He tried to establish his influence over Sivagiri, who refused to join with alliance of the rebels. Fall of Panjalamkurchi. Major Bannerman moved his army to Panjalamkurchi on 5th September. They cut off all the communications to the 4th. In a clash of Kallarpatti, Siva Subramanian was taken as a prisoner. On the 16th October, Veerapandi Kattapomman was tried before an assembly of Palekaras summoned at Kayathar. Only 17th October 1799, Kattapomman was hanged at the fort of Kayathar. Kattapomman's heroic deeds were the subject of many folk ballads which kept his memory alive among the people. Velunashir was a queen of Sivaganga. At the age of 16, she was married to Muthu Vadugunathar. the Raja of Sivagangai. In 1772, the Nawab of Arcot and the British troops invaded Sivagangai. They killed Muthu Vaduganadhar in Kalayar Koil battle. Velu Nachiyar escaped with his daughter Vella Chinachiyar and lived under the protection of Gopala Nayakar at Virupachi, near Dindukal. She arranged a suicide attack by a faithful follower, Kui, a commander of Velu Nachiyar. She is known by Tamils as Veeramangai and also known as Jhansi Rani of South India. Marudhu brothers. Chinna Marudhu served under Muthu Vaduganadu Periya Udayadevar 1750 to 1772 of Sivaganga. In 1772, the Nawab of Arcot laid siege of Sivaganga and captured it. Muthu Vaduganadu Periya Udayadevar died in battle. However, after a few months, Sivaganga was recaptured by Marudhu brothers and Peri Marudhu was enthroned as the ruler. Chinna Marudhu acted as his advisor due to the terrorist activities against the British. He was called as Lion of Sivaganga. In the later half of the 18th century, the rebellion against the British was carried by Marudhu brothers in South India. The South Indian Rebellion 1800 to 1801. In February 1801, the brothers of Kattaboman, Oomadurai and Sevataya escaped from Palankote prison and reached Kamudi. Chinna Marudhu took them to Siruvayal, his capital. They reconstructed their ancestral fort at Panjalamkurchi. As a result, many Palaikarars of Tamil Nadu went on a rally to fight against the English. Chinna Marudhu collected nearly 20,000 men to challenge the English army. English annexed Sivagangai. The rebellion failed and English annexed Sivagangai in 1801. The Marudhu brothers were executed in the fort of Tirupattur in Ramanathapuram district on 24 October 1801. Oomadurai and Sevataya was captured and beheaded at Panjalamkurchi on 16 November 1801. Thus, the South Indian Rebellion is a landmark in the history of Tamil Nadu. Although the 1800 to 1801 rebellion was to be categorized in the British records as the Second Palaikarar War under the terms of the Karnataka Treaty on 31 July 1801. After Tipu Sultan's death, Chinnamalai settled down at Vodanile and constructed a fort there to continue his struggle against the British. He sought the help of Marathas and Marudhu Pandiyar to attack the British at Coimbatore in 1800. During the final battle, Chinnamalai was betrayed by his cook Nallappan and was hanged in Sankaragiri Fort in 1805. Vellore Revolt 1806. The Vellore Fort consisted of large majority of Indian troops. A good part of it recently been raised in Tirunelveli after the Palaikarar uprising of 1800. In 1803, William Cavendish Bentinck became governor of Madras. During his period, certain military regulations were introduced in 1856 and were enforced by the Madras Commander-in-Chief Sir John Cradock. But the Sepoys felt that these course of the revolt, the Indian soldiers were waiting for an opportunity to attack the English officers. Tipu's family also took part. Fetta Hyder, the elder son of Tipu, tried to form an alliance against the English. On July 10th, in the early morning, the native sepoys of the 1st and 23rd regiments started the revolt. The revolt was completely suppressed and failed. Peace was restored in Vellore. On the whole, 113 Europeans and about 350 sepoys were killed in the uprising. The new methods and uniform regulations were withdrawn. The family of Tipu as a precautionary measure was sent to Calcutta. William Cavendish Bentinck was removed from his service. V.D. Savarkar calls the Vellore Revolt of 1806 as the prelude to the First War of Indian Independence in 1857. The outbreak of the revolt. On 29 March 1857, at Barakpur near Kolkata, Mangal Pandey, a young sepoy from Bengal regiment, refused to use the greased cartridge and shot down his sergeant. Course of the revolt. On 10 May 1857, the sepoys of the 3rd Cavalry at Meerut openly revolted by swarming the prisons and releasing their comrades. They were immediately joined by the men of the 11th and 20th Native Infantries, and they murdered some English officers and then marched to Delhi. The arrival of Meerut sepoys at Delhi on 11th May and declared of Bahadur Shah II as the Emperor of India. In central India, the revolt was guided by Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi. She was one of the greatest patriots of India. Sir Hugh Ross occupied Jhansi. Rani Lakshmi Bai fled from Jhansi and joined hands with Tantiya Top, who had assumed the leadership of the rebel army at Gwalior, but the British captured Gwalior in June 1858. Rani was killed in the battle. Tantia Top fled away but was captured and later executed. According to the British historians present at the time of revolt, Rani Lakshmibai was the best and the bravest among the leaders of the revolt of 1857. Delhi was recaptured by General John Nicholson on 20 September 1857 and deportation of Bahadur Shah to Rangoon when he died in 1862. The revolt was finally over. India was fully re-established. Places of revolt: Delhi, Indian leaders, Bahadur Shah II. British officials who suppressed the revolt, John Nicholson. Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Henry Lawrence. Kanpur, Nana Sahib, Sir Colin Campbell. Jhansi and Gwalior, Lakshmi Bai, Tantia Top, General Hugh Ross. Bareilly, Khan Bahadur Khan, Sir Colin Campbell. Bihar, Kanwar Singh, William Taylor. Consequences of the revolt. The revolt of 1857 marked a turning point in the history of India. It led to changes in the system of administration and the policy of the government. The administration of India was transferred from the East India Company to the British Crown through the Queen's Proclamation in 1858. The Governor General was given the title of Viceroy. The Board of Directors and the Board of Control were replaced by the Council of 15 members headed by the Secretary of State to supervise Indian affairs. The Indian army was thoroughly reorganized. More Britishers were employed in the army. The British military policy came to be dominated by the idea of divide and counterpoise. In fact, the revolt of 1857 played an important role in bringing the Indian people together and imparting them the consciousness of belonging to one country. The revolt paved the way for the rise of the modern national movement. It was at the beginning of the 20th century that the 1857 revolt came to be interpreted as a planned war of national independence by V.D. Savarkar in his book First War of Independence.